the biggest SGA sale ever, the two biggest Nikola Jokic sales ever, and by far and away, the biggest Aaron Judge sale ever. What is going on? And Jeremy and I get to do what this week? It's all next on Across the Hobby. Yo, 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 and welcome to Across the Hobby. Guys, so much to hit this week. I'm going to actually take you through a brief agenda. We don't usually do that, but there's so many things. We're going to talk about the top 10 biggest sales of last week with some really interesting surprises. We're going to hit some big sales last week from MC Sports Cards and Hoodies, both on eBay. We're going to talk about why this Thursday for Jeremy and I and the premier auction is going to be something we've never done before and is going to be crazy, something I'm super pumped about and we didn't know about until late last week, but it's a special kind of fun announcement that I get to make here. And then we're going to talk about why maybe we're seeing some of these big sales all happening at the same time. And then the bulk of our show, as always, is we're going to be looking at the biggest items across the whole hobby this week. But we're going to get started, as we always do, by hitting the biggest sales that happened last week across the hobby. We're going to look at the top 10, the card ladder top 10. The mantle that you can see here, that's a 4, and the triple logo man, including Cade Cunningham and Victor Wembanyama. Those are actually both just on the outside looking in. This is the number 11 and 12 card of the week. And then you're going to notice something very interesting. If you didn't watch last week, there was this very interesting sale that happened last week of a card in an SGC Authentic holder on eBay. Well, I was shocked to see that because anytime a Jordan red moves, you certainly don't expect it to be on a buy it now or best offer on eBay. But that's what we saw last week. I don't know what happened to that sale. I'm not going to guess because I just have no idea. What I know for certain is that this happened 3 days ago. When I say for certain, it's showing up in Card Ladder as of 3 days ago. So why is it showing up again? What happened to that first sale? Not sure. But that leads us, at least as we look at this for right now, as the 10th and 9th biggest sales last week were both Michael Jordan altered but graded PMG reds. It's interesting because the SGC selling right before the PSA, like look at the differences in price there. You're talking about $28,000 for altered labels. It's a pretty huge difference when you're just talking about an altered label. Number 8 from last week is the Shohei Blue in a PSA 10 holder. That is a huge deal. This card is numbered to 150, but it is a PSA 10, and there's certainly not 150 of those. $295,000 for what I think most people would argue is Shohei's most iconic card. If not this, then the pitching version. There will always be a debate about that probably, but it does seem like more people are on the side of the hitting these days. And then the comparison that I kept talking about last week. I really wanted to see which of these two cards would win. I want to talk about these here in just a minute a little bit more, but for right now, we've got the Jokic logo men from Immaculate. It's one of just 2 non-autographed logo men from his rookie year, $298,000, and then the 1 of 10 gold Jokic. A lot of people are pointing to this going, how could the gold outsell the logo man? There's 10 of these. Do remember it's the 1 of 10. The way that some people look at this is different, and I can speak to that because I have a 1 of 10 that's a big card for my collection that I was offered a significant, way more than for mine than what other ones have sold for. And so I do think there's a case that some buyers look at this and they say, that's not just the first Jokic Gold Prism card. That's the first copy of the first Jokic Gold Prism card. And I think you could lose that here. The other thing that I think is important here is how long it's been since that card is sold. Since it's been years, finally pops up. It does a big number. Would it do it again if it was to pop up again in 2 or 3 months? I'm not sure about that. It may, but I think the 1 of 10 matters, and I think because it had been so long, that matters too. An 8 with a 9 autograph does $323. The Con Knipple sells for almost $400,000. Amazing. Saw a couple of people post this card next to these cards and say, are you kidding me? The thing that I'll point out, though, that's the Superfractor autograph. A lot of people are going to think about that as his very best card in existence. These are not going to be considered Jokic's best card in existence. They're just not. Ahead of that, top 3 cards of the week, 2 auctions and 1 private sale. We have the Shohei 2024. This is an amazing sale, guys. This is the image variation Superfractor. Obviously not a rookie year, but there is newly with the Dodgers, and I think some people really like that. Some people don't want to see him in the Angels uniform. They want to see him in the Dodgers uniform. It is autographed. It is a superfractor. It is a Dodgers card, and it sells for $461 grand. Wow. Then we have the highest selling SGA card ever, outdoing the Green Kaboom, which sold just earlier this year. Sells for $577,306. I had the privilege of knowing one of the individuals who was bidding on this card, and he was messaging me during the auction, and it was really exciting for me to see that he won the card. He obviously had to pay a lot for it, but when you're talking about and we talked about it on the show last week, and I feel this. Some people don't want to see SGA in a Clipper uniform. They want to see SGA in a Thunder uniform. And you might say, but then that's not a rookie card. And I think that some collectors don't want to hear this, but a lot of us don't really care as much about rookies anymore. I actually don't know how many rookies do I have in my whole collection. Very few. Like, it's extremely few. It's probably less than 5. I'm not somebody who is like, go rookies, go. But, with that said, I know a lot of people are. For me, the question is, would you rather have Shea in the uniform that he's going to be known as forever here, game used Logoman auto, or if you had the chance to get the rookie where he's with the Clippers, he doesn't even so much look like Shea ended up looking. He looks different. Is that a better card? I suspect that the Logoman auto from Flawless from 2018 would sell for significantly more than this. I think there's a great case that this is a better card for a lot of collectors. And I don't know in the long term which will win out. Maybe the rookie will just always have power. But then, of course, the biggest sale, you guys heard all about it already. Private sale of a card that moved for under $400,000 4 years ago, 320, 360, something like that. The Aaron Judge Superfractor autograph. A lot of people, I saw numerous people message, oh, this card was just found in a binder and look what it sold for. That is not the same card. The card that was found in the binder is going to Heritage. I suspect it will be in an upcoming auction. It will be an absolutely huge card, but it was the non-autographed version. And remember, in baseball, those autographs are on card, and in general, the autograph is viewed as a far better example. With that said, would I guess, and this is just a guess, and I don't know anything here, but would I guess that the timing of the finding of that card, which is going to auction, and the selling of this card, would I guess that the two of those things have something to do with each other? I personally would guess that there's probably some correlation there. The person who was looking to buy this card, there's a good chance they didn't want to see that other card come to auction first because of what they knew that the card that's going to sell at auction is likely to sell for. Again, could be wrong, but these things have a way of working them out sometimes. And the fact that one surfaced and that this one was for sale right away, that there might be something there. The other thing that I'll point out to you guys, people kept saying this card was in a binder. He just recently got it graded. Like, you just have to look at the cert, guys. This is like 101 stuff here. 990. This card was graded years ago. So obviously not the same card. But I understand why people thought that and why people did what they did. So those are the top 10 biggest sales of the week. Let's go look at some of the $1,000 and over stuff. We're going to start with Hoodies. Hoodies had an absolutely huge auction. We covered a bunch of it last week on here. Couldn't get to all of it, but man, there was a lot of stuff. Look at the Red Heart in PSA 8. That's almost 10 grand. Look at the Jordan Thrill Seekers in a 7 is now an $1,800 card. Jeter Sanders number 10 RPA $4,100. Everybody's been talking about this card. I don't know exactly what the story is on it, but I know a lot of people are talking about it. The Yamamoto Inception RPA, great looking card, $1,200. Look at this, guys. PSA 9, 10. 9 with a 10 autograph, $35,600. Shohei is the hottest baseball player since the home run chase back with McGuire and Sosa. I really believe that's true. I don't think we've had anybody that hot since then, and that was unlike. I can't even describe to you guys what that was like. If you weren't there for it, it was just absolutely nuts. I think this was a great deal. I really do. I'm not a ticket guy, and so there's lots of things I don't know. But what I do know is a lot of people don't like tickets because they don't know why they're important without like having to look at the flip and things like that. That's Michael Jordan there. All you have to do is see him, see that date, right? November 24th, 1984. I just think this is a tremendous buy. His highest graded ever for his first time he appeared on a ticket, and it's $4,300. I think that's a really good deal. I do, but I don't know. I mean, that card predates his star rookie. It predates his Fleer rookie. It predates any card. It's ticket, and it's incredibly rare, and it sells for under $5,000. You guys tell me. You think I'm crazy? It displays like a card. It has the image of Jordan on it. It has Jordan's name on it too, right? I mean, gosh, that was. I just think that was a good deal. LeBron's Nike swoosh does almost $10,000. $1,600 for the Devers first auto. This is the orange out of 25. Autograph tag of Aaron Donald does $1,100. I was really interested to watch this Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is not nearly as popular as he used to be, but gosh, that's a pretty card. Yes, the autograph's on sticker, but it's numbered to 25, and it's from 2012 Prism. Really one of the key cards from the autograph silver set, and it's a 10, $2,000. I think that was a good deal too. $7,600 for the Ronaldo. It's 1 out of 1, but remember, we talked about this last week. It's the 1/1 from the white box. Anthony Edwards is one of the biggest, most interesting auctions of the week. Number 5 of 10 on the PSA 10 gold prism card. There's so many cards today. I want to hit this Bosch, $1,000 for the Bosch 1/1, $3,900 for the optic. Now this is interesting. There's a LeBron that sold too, right? Same set, or no? This one's even earlier. So Steph for $3,900. How much was LeBron? Wasn't LeBron up here at the top? I think he was. If he wasn't, I might have to move on. 2019. So in this case, same grade. LeBron. This is LeBron's first Laker card. It's interesting. I'd rather have the Steph, but LeBron outsold Steph. That's a fun thing to watch as we go back and forth. But is it because it's LeBron in his first Laker uniform? I'm not sure. A Tracy McGrady, number 5 auto, does $1,000. So many $1,000 and over cards for hoodies yesterday, guys. Scar sells for $6,100. Namath for $1,750. All right, lots of big stuff that sold yesterday. So that is hoodies. Now let's talk about MC. We're just looking at the things that sold for over $3,000 last week at MC. You can see we start off with some boxes and some cases. A Dart Prism Manga Horizontal for $7,000. Knipple is just on fire, guys. This is called Tops 3. It is number 3 of 5. He is going to be, I mean, if he, I don't want to go on a limb. He just seems like he's almost certainly going to be one of the great all-time three-point shooters. To come into the league at his age as a rookie and to do what he's doing, he's just going to score so many points from 3. I'm so jealous of the Hornets that they have him. He's just amazing. $11,000 for that card. Sherfin was let's go on to this Jordan, actually. Jordan in a PSA 10, really an interesting card. Really not a super high pop card. That's from the preview set. I don't know exactly what it sold for because it's a buy it now or best offer. In fact, most of these are buy it nows or best offers. Scroll down to some of these auctions. Kaboom Wemby from 2024. That's the second year, $3,700. $4,300 for that Jordan. Holy smokes. I used to have a complete set of that. Now, well, they weren't PSA 10, but oh my goodness, we talked about it last week, potentially being a big sale because it's PSA 10. But wow, that's a big sale. LeBron tag, $3,600. Yamamoto blue to 150 PSA 10, $6,200. 1986, 141 of 43, just missing the Jordans. Still does $3,100. It's got some high graded cards in there, even though it doesn't have the Jordans. Charizard, Cooper flag to 10, $26,000. Julio Jones, look at that patch auto. That is just gorgeous, $10,300. And then we get some of the cards that we really focused on last week. This Jordan, I talked about it being a really interesting plate. He doesn't have that many plates, even though it's just a plate, $4,000. How many times have we seen a Michael Jordan plate sell higher than that? I'll bet you it's less than 5. What do you guys think? Oh, there's the autographed ones out of Exquisite. It might be more than 5. It's probably more than 5 because of those ones out of Exquisite. Nope, I'm right. There's only 2 others. One's an Exquisite autograph. One's the other one that we knew about. It's not actually a Jordan card, but it features Jordan. It's from the 97 set. It's the very first plate ever. And then this one that we talked about last week, this, again, it's a base card that's recognizable. And this is, in your guys' travels, if you guys go to card shows and stuff and you're like, oh, I don't know if that plate's worth anything, because some people just think all plates are garbage. Remember, if a plate is gradable, meaning it came out of a pack, it's got a label on it, you know what it's from. If it's a recognizable card, people know the card without, like, they look at it and they're like, oh, I know what that came from. And it's a player that it's like really like collected. You find those things, you actually have something that has a chance to really be worth something. And it makes sense. It's recognizable. It's sort of not quite a parallel of the card, but it's pretty close to it. And so, seeing that sell for what it sold for is not super shocking. If we keep scrolling down, we're probably going to see another plate. But first, Kobe autograph. We're interested in this UD Black right here. Jordan, $5,300 on that. Wemby, Mercury. The Wemby Mercury stuff is interesting, guys. It is interesting. I think as people look more and more at Wemby, it's an interesting question to ask. Jordan in the game dated set in the PSA 8.5, really a nice grade, $1,500. I think that's a great buy. This Larry Bird is super interesting to me. The card has a 10 autograph, but that autograph should not be a 10 in my humble, not expert grader opinion. I don't understand how PSA put that 10 on that. I don't understand. What I do understand is that it seems that still had an influence on what the card sold for, because $16,300, it's a lot of money. It seems like it's a high number to me, though, isn't it? Am I crazy? I gotta go look at this real quick. That seems like that's a lot. Larry Bird, 2003, exquisite. And then I want to talk to you guys about something here that I think is potentially an issue. See, that is just the darndest thing to me. So look at this, guys. You're going to tell me a 7 with a 10 auto, 2X is this card. Now, this autograph's not perfect either. It's only from 2 months ago. This one from September is just worlds better, like eons, crazy, way better autograph, totally blue. Sure, it's a 10 autograph on the back, and it's less than half of this price. One thing that I worry about, I could be crazy here, but I worry about it. A card like this sells for this price. Did it sell for this price with somebody having the intent of saying, hey, PSA, this shouldn't be a 10, and then asking for a refund? If you were the owner of this card and it had this number on it, and you were a bad guy, you were bad and deceptive and were willing to commit fraud and all those types of things, could you put it up and say, hey, I'm gonna put this up, I'm gonna buy it myself for a higher number, and then I'm gonna say to PSA, hey, I bought this and this autograph shouldn't be a 10, and then ask them for basically the insurance money on it? That's what I think people don't realize PSA has to deal with their guarantee program. Is there's all sorts of people trying to commit fraud, and trust me, there are. I've heard about some of these things. I've seen some of these things too. I question this one. Now, at the same time, I do have to say some people aren't as familiar with the autograph color issues as those of you who are watching the show are. Some people are so excited about early exquisite and just exquisite in general and Upper Deck's best era. And so is it possible that this card is just straight up purchase? It absolutely is, like, without question. But when I see stuff like that, where like something sells for way too high, that's clearly in like a misholder, a PSA misholder, in my opinion, because I don't think that should be a 10 autograph. I question whether everything's always on the up and up. I would just say to you, if you've ever considered doing something like that with PSA, like, oh, I wonder if I could do this, I wonder if I could make some extra money. Just remember always, like fraud, evil, bad. You can't sell your soul in the process of making a buck. If you do, what do you have left to show for it, right? So anyway, those are Adam's random musings for the day about this Larry Bird. Jordan autograph, $15,000. PSA 8.5. That is 4A and SP Authentic. Sensational SIGs. Basically a blue autograph on card from the Upper Deck days is going to make you a lot of money, especially in a PSA holder. Amazing to see that. The Pop 1 Anthony Edwards Black for $4,500. I mean, just an absolutely huge week. And then this card I wanted to get to, another plate. Both Steph and Jordan sold for over $4,000 on these plates. I was just watching them because you just never see plates of this sort of, like, they don't come up for auction very often. And so I'll bet this is a top 5 plate of Curry too. Gotta look it up real quick. Curry plate. And yeah, guys, it's the number 3 plate ever, and the other 2, one was autographed, recently sold. It's interesting. I'll tell you right now, if these were to sell right now, they would sell for more. I would buy them. No, this is one of Curry's main rookie cards, and these sold back in 2023, definitely in a down market. But these, I would guess, are probably worth quite a bit more now. I would guess. I would definitely pay that price for them. I'll tell you that for sure. And then this one's autographed and came out of the pack that way, so that's really cool. But I would take the non. Wow. This card is really cool because it's a logoman. It's like it helped make a logoman, but it didn't help make the logoman. We talked about this last week. I might still take the autograph here. I don't know. That's close. I like this because it's sort of important and recognizable. I like this because it did come out of the pack autographed, and these are in another world. I wonder if there's anything else that's sold that's interesting. See, most people have just gotten them signed. Yeah, none of these are on the same. This one's kind of cool. The card, but it's not that important. Anyway, so there's so many things to hit here on MC. Look at that. LeBron, we talked about it last week, does over $10,000. So I mentioned at the beginning that Thursday is going to be a big day for me and Jeremy. I think most of you probably know that every Thursday that there's a premier auction, a Fanatics Collect premier auction. I jump on with Jeremy and we talk about on a live stream on Sports Cards Live the auction, and it's awesome. The average amount of time while we're on there, there's usually between 150 and 200 people on there. About 1,500 people will join through the night. It's awesome. We go for 5 hours, and there's lots of great comments in the chat, and it's always so much fun because we just talk about cards the whole time. We don't talk about the things. We don't just talk about values, right? We talk about values, honestly, very little. We talk about why cards are interesting, why they're collectible, that sort of thing. Anyway, long story short, we do this every time there's a premier auction during the extended bidding window. Well, and we do that for Fanatics Collect, right? Jeremy runs the show, and that's one of the things that he does. Is he runs that for Fanatics Collect, and I'm the lucky guy who gets to be the co-host. And between Jeremy and I, you've got about 9 decades of sports card history. So he and I have been collecting, between the two of us, him longer than me, but close to 9 decades. And so with all that said, Fanatics invited us, and we just found out about this last week. We just got invited last week. It's a really cool opportunity. We're going to be going to New York this Thursday, and we're going to be hosting it live there from Fanatics, me and Jeremy and the other person. And this is, I don't know if these things can have a way of not always happening, but as of today, Joe Davis is going to be on with us too. So I shouldn't say Joe Davis is going to be on with us. We're going to be on with Joe Davis. So the voice of the Dodgers. And I think that's particularly awesome given that the Ohtani Judge dual logoman autograph is going to be ending that night. So Jeremy and I are both stoked, excited, thrilled, and it should be a really fun experience for us. So if you're going to be watching it on Thursday, definitely join it. The thing that's going to be different is usually it's just on Sports Cards Live. I think it will still be on Sports Cards Live, but I think it'll also be on the Fanatics app and maybe on Fanatics Live. And so, keep your eyes for it. Obviously, watch my Instagram. I'll post the link at some point. But it should be a lot of fun, and it's an honor to be able to go do stuff like that. I'm just a guy who just talks about cards, right? So, and I've done it enough that some of these crazy opportunities come around sometimes. But this is a really unique, crazy one for me that I'm super stoked about. So come join us that night. And that is enough about that. Okay, so I promised you guys that I would talk to you about why we might be seeing some of these big sales at the same time. Remember, as we look back at Card Ladder, the big sales for last week. Oh, you know what? We're not going to be able to find it that quick. I'll have to enter in all the filters and stuff to do that. But last week we had, the biggest Judge sale ever. We had the 2 biggest Jokic cards ever. In fact, I'll show you that. I'll show you real quick. So if you just come in here and you type in Judge, even though I can't spell Judge, that will still work because it's just an apostrophe at the end. It's easily the biggest Judge sale ever. I mean, the second biggest Judge sale ever, like I said, $320,000 is the same card that sold 4 years ago. Sold for 16x what his highest card ever had sold for. So there you go. And then you've got Jokic, right? So let's type in Jokic. And these are sorted by highest ever in card ladder. The two highest Jokic cards to sell ever, 1 and 2, with a triple here at the beginning that is driven more by LeBron and Wemby. The two biggest solo Jokic's ever both just moved. When this one sold for $205,000 back in 2024, it was a big deal when it sold on eBay. That person, I would guess it was just one individual, held on to it for almost 2 years, and then almost exactly 2 years, and then sold it for almost $100,000 more. So the two biggest Jokic cards ever. And then if we go to Shea, we type in Shea for his highest card sale ever. Again, the two highest cards ever were his Flawless that just sold and the Kaboom that sold before that, and then the card that sold back in 2023 that's worth a lot more than that now, probably quite a bit more than both of these, though I think there's a case that this could be a better card in the long run than this. It's just because he's in a Clipper uniform. This card is game used and this one isn't. When this one sold, I was on the Fanatics premiere show. This is a fun sidebar with Jeremy, and I just looked at it and I was like, guys, this is an amazing deal if Shea has a chance to become, or if Shea becomes what he has a chance to become. And at that point, we knew that the Thunder had all those assets. We knew they had a chance to be great. And I just looked at it and I was like, there's a chance that card is going to be just unreal. And it is. That card's almost certainly a 7-figure card at this point. So anyway, highest Shea sale ever. Two highest Jokic sales ever. Highest Judge sale ever. Why? Why is that all happening at the same time? You can ask a lot of questions here and you can make a lot of speculations. I will tell you a few things that I know are true. There are, I'm gonna lead with the thing that I feel most strongly about, but it's probably not the best talking point. I believe, and I've felt this for a while now, that the way that we change, or the way that we collect as hobbyists, has really changed. The thing that we spend so much time talking about now is how a card fits in terms of a player's best card group. And so we didn't used to do that as much. People didn't really have strong feelings. But like for Shea now, I can tell you there's a lot of people who look at that and they go, that's one of Shea's very best cards in existence because it hits these filters. It's his first Logoman auto when he's with the Thunder. It's game worn. He's with the Thunder and so it's early on. It's flawless. What Shea OKC cards are better than that one? There's a really short list of cards that you would even argue about. And when you look at the Jokic thing, it's the same thing. What's better than his gold prism? Well, his black prism. Okay, what else? Apparently not even a Logoman. He does have a Logoman. I think he does have a single Logoman autograph. That card, along with the Prism Black, are certainly his two best cards. What's his third best card? Is it the Gold Prism that just sold? It's got a real case for that. Brent, Deep Value Investor, compared the Jokic Gold to this card, and he said, I just think this is too much money for the Jokic Gold. And I thought that was a really interesting thing to talk about. So the Jokic Gold sold for a lot more than this Timmy did in August of last year, though. Market's up a lot since then. So I sat and I thought about this for a while. I was like, okay, what would I rather have? The Jokic Gold or the Duncan Green? And it's really an interesting question. What would you rather have? The Jokic Gold or the Duncan Green? Duncan Green is from a set that is just one of the most collected high-end sets ever. He is the key rookie from it. He is arguably the third best player from it. It is from toward the beginning of the serial numbered era. Man, I don't know. What would you rather have? Would you rather have that or the Jokic, though? I hadn't seen the card move in years. Years. I don't even know how many years. I don't even know if in all of Card Ladder. In fact, let's do it real quick. Have we ever seen a Jokic Gold sell like ever? Let's see. 26 results. None of them are Prism rookies. Even these ones back before they had pictures weren't. Select. The first time we'd ever seen it move publicly, and it's number 1 of 10. The Duncan is from a more, I don't even want to say a more iconic brand. Like, what is a more iconic brand? Fleer Metal or Prism? The Miami's guys aren't going to want to hear this. It's Prism by a landslide. It's like not even close. It's true. Fleer Metal lasted just a couple of years, just a few products. It is beloved. PMGs are synonymous with ultra high-end 90s, the green especially. But that's the first time you ever saw Nikola Jokic's gold come up for sale, and it's the only big-time Jokic card. You're not going to – it's not – Select is not close, right, as evidenced by this right here. This sold a few days ago. This sold now. This sold for $15,000. This sold for $30,000. This is a 5% of this card, right? It's not even close. Prism Jokic wins out of all of Jokic's stuff. What about Duncan? Well, Duncan has like 20 different iconic rookies. What's more iconic, his metal or his Topps chrome? It's his chrome. It's not close. It's his chrome. What's more iconic? Is his metal or his EX? That's closer. I think it's probably his metal in that case. But his EX, his essential credentials, is a rarer card. I think it's a better card than the green. But what do I know? The green is certainly, it certainly has all of the cachet. And then, there's just all of the other big-time Duncan rookie cards that are well thought of, right? The green, though, is incredible. Duncan, I like way more than Jokic in the all-time ranks. I still think Duncan's a top 5 or 6 player ever, and Jokic isn't there yet. But Jokic has a ways to go, and it's the Jokic card. Is arguably his 3rd best card in existence. That Duncan is really high on the list. It is a really fun comparison by Brent. I do think that there is a world where you could look at this and you can say, no, I like the Jokic more, and I especially like where he's going to go in the long term. And I like knowing that, it's only moved once ever. Now, here's the other interesting part of that, though. What if the card was to move again in the next few months? What if it was to move next year? Would we think about it the same way? Would you think about it the same way? Knowing that it's never moved before, it's the first time it's ever moved, it's number 1 of 10. Say it doesn't move again for another 6 months and then it pops up again. Are you going to feel the same way about it? Say it's like number 4 of 10 and it's BGS 9 or something like that. Are you going to feel the same way? The 9 is going to be worth less for sure. The 4 is going to be worth less for sure, I think, than the 1. But is it still a better card than the Duncan? It's worth considering. All right. I've told you about the top 10. We've gone through all of that. Now let's look at all of the biggest auctions. Guys, we took 32 and a half minutes. We're going to now take the next hour to look at all of the very biggest auctions happening or closing this week across the hobby. We're going to start out on MC Sports Cards on eBay. Again, their auction is ending tonight. You can see from the screen, we got about 8 hours to go on the most, the newest ones with this Joe Namath Eminence gold ounce here. How much is gold an ounce? Isn't it? It's got to be close to $3,000. This card you might make money on just by buying the gold. No, I'm sure it'll go up from there. But look at this. The T-Mac without the auto is worth more than the Namath with the auto. They're both retired when these cards are made. It's interesting. It's an interesting look at how much more beloved basketball high end is than football. Anyway, we're going to look at about 15, 20 cards as we go through here and highlight them. And we're just going to scroll through real quick and then take a deeper dive in each of them. I actually really want to look at this Jordan, as that is a very old label. And I want to see what might be wrong with it. Check out this Ohtani refractor, a couple big Ohtani rookies. An Ohtani from 2013, a Jordan PSA 8 rookie. Caitlin. There's my Kobe. Gosh, we have to talk about that one. Sold it for a price I was really excited about. Wasn't paid for. Just a killer. That and about 20 Harry Potter cards. In fact, exactly 20 Harry Potter cards were the 21 cards out of my 200 and some odd that I sent to MC that weren't paid for. But the Kobe just kills me because I was thrilled at what it sold for, and then somebody didn't pay for it. And I need that to pick up the big card that I've been waiting on for the last couple months. Oh, wow. Big KD. That's the true black. The Kobe, I want to hit that one for you, that autograph. Huge Rodman. Whew. I want to look at card ladder on that card. Keep scrolling down here. Oh, somebody's like selling like a run of Jordans. 5, 2.5. Linchpins in and an 8. Great card. Another Jordan in an 8.5. Oh, check out this Steph right here. Number to. Whew. I didn't realize that was black. That's a huge auction. Spoiler, that's probably going to be my favorite card of the week. If not, it's going to be close. Ooh, Jalen Johnson, true gold rookie. Heard a stat on the mismatch this week about Jalen Johnson. My favorite basketball podcast by far is Chris Vernon on the mismatch with Dave Jacoby. I love it. Vernon's stat for Jalen Johnson. You guys are going to die when you hear this, unless you've already heard it. All the players in the history of the NBA under the age of 25, I hope I get this right, under the age of 25 who put up a season of 25 points, 10 boards, and 7 assists. All of them under the age of 25. Remember, you got to get to 10 boards, 7 assists. Name all of them. The 3 that he said ever who had done it. Oscar, Jalen, I can't even remember the third one, guys. It's like, I think it was shockingly, it wasn't LeBron because he never got 10 boards under the age of 25. Like, he is having an incredible season. And don't look now, but the Hawks are balling. Okay, I spent too much time on that. I'm not going to click on it now. Ohtani, blue paper, 150. Love paper. Give me the paper. Give me the paper for way less of a cost. Duel with Ohtani and Acuna. That's a Topps Now special card right there out of 10. I love the high-end Topps Now stuff. Ooh, Penny, 5.5. That's a big deal. Big-time Steph autograph patch from all the way back in 2014-15 when he was barely reaching the height of his powers. Check out this Jordan here. These sometimes get a little bit lost. The Wild set. I can't remember if the Wild set is an MJ-only set. I should know this. Sorry, I just don't. If it's an MJ-only set or if it's like if there's other players in it. But numbered out of 100 and a PSA 10. How many 10s are there? Okay, we'll look at that one too. Whoa. Kobe. Oh, I'm into the monthly showcase. No wonder things are crazy. Like, why is this? Wait, this whole thing is monthly showcase. Dang it. I messed up, guys. I don't get what's happening. I thought I hit ending soonest. I did. Is it just a lot? Oh, look, guys. I made a big mistake. Sorry, guys. I had the minimum of $3,000 in there, which messed up everything. And I just stopped looking at the time there. So some of those cards that we were just talking about, forgive me, they're cards that aren't ending tonight. I was like, why is this a monthly showcase? That's not until next week. I should have realized that sooner. I'm not going to go back and edit it. Hope you guys are good with that. Okay. Wemby autograph. In fact, let's look and see how many of these are cards that are actually ending this week. So the Jordan is, the Kobe is, Katie is, Kobe is, Rodman is, maybe they all are. Okay, Steph is not. I was going to say this can suffer a lot more than this. And Jordan Wild. We'll look at both of those next week. So we'll give you guys a reason to join next week. All right, let's keep going. See what else we can find. We took off the filter. I'm so bugged at myself that I did that. Check out that Derrick Rose. That's sweet. Check out that KG 1/1 Noir. Sweet autograph with an amazing looking image of KG. There's that T-Mac again. There's that 2.5 we're going to look back at. This card Malone is actually a super interesting card because this year they just didn't do very many autographed jersey cards. I think it might just be Mailman and Jordan that year. It's one of the better Malone cards in existence for sure. Kobe autograph. This is one of those interesting ones where it's like an Avery label, but it's like shiny. It sits underneath the main surface of the card. The card surface can sort of cover it a little bit, but the card itself is really nice. Like it's got this great rainbowy foil, a little bit of showcase, a little bit of like 90s showcase in it. This one's 24 of 25, so it's a jersey numbered autograph. Competitive Advantage wasn't the rarest insert, but it feels really premium, and it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy either. I think it was like one in 96 packs, I think. What is this? Check out the CD Lamb. I will bet that autograph is secondary to the card. But maybe I'm wrong. We need to look at that one real close. Mantle in a 6. Bunch of cool baseball stuff. Ohtani update silver pack chrome red refractor. So Ohtani out of 5 is going to be a big deal. Just a string of Ohtanis, though. Big head Giannis. That's the Slammy. $676. Jason Williams to 77. The Kobe from 98 and a 9 is actually a pretty big deal card. The gold vinyl of Carmelo is numbered to 5, not to 1, to 5. The LeBron, not a legacy, just a regular showcase, but it's a 10, and there's only 13 of those. That card, probably going on my top 10 this week because of that population. Going to the next page, we already have the Kobe highlighted. We will talk about that in a moment. And what is this flag? 2 of 5. That's a pretty card. Everybody's paying a lot for the chrome parallels. I like that, man. Number to 5, a lot of color coming off that thing. One thing the MC does that I wish other people would do, other places would do, is they take images rather than scans, take pictures instead of scans. And so these refractors really are highlighted. Ooh, Admiral, surprised to see the CGC certified authentic. This is from Fanatics Collect. That's a big card. Let's go see what that sold for last time, because we're going to find it in Card Ladder. I want to compare it, see what it sold for last time and see how it does this time. Big Katie. Remember, Kevin Durant does not have a gold chrome rookie. So if you're looking for a chrome or if you were looking for a gold refractor of Kevin Durant, sorry, I cannot talk. There's not a lot of options. And that one, I'll tell you, I know it's at a 99, which is a little bit of a higher number, but the Sterling is just a really pretty card. Ken Griffey Jr. from 96, the first year of Chrome. Check the color on that. Might be a great deal. As always, you've got to look at the color on those cards. Red Robert Pack. Man, people don't know how good Robert Pack was. That dude was balling. I love this Dennis Rodman. I love it. I can't remember if we clicked on it, but I definitely want to click on it. Big time Amen Thompson. This is the snake skin. It's not numbered, but there's not very many of them. Jerome Bettis, PSA 4. This is the first year that they numbered rubies. I want to see what the last one of those sold for. The 4 is going to come with a good discount. I love stuff like that. That's a chance to actually get into a 90s football ultra rare parallel for a price that might be not too bad for a guy that's really well known because it's a 4. Let's see if we can figure out why it's a 4 too. And we're now past the big cards for this week. So let's see. Did I go to page 2 or did I go to page 3? Let's make sure I'm in the right place. Did I already do page 2? Or did I skip them? No, I did. I did page 2. Okay, we got about 15 cards here to look at. Let's look at each of them. So this one's a 2.5. What I really want to highlight is this. Look at that number. And then obviously the corners. So the corners, edges, and surface all have issues. Corners, see, like there's definitely wear here. Do you guys see any creases though? That's what I was sort of like think of as like the big time downgrader on a card like this is, does it have creases? I don't know if I see anything. What is driving the 4 surface grade would be my question. There's a little bit of stuff going on over here. A little bit of stuff going on up over here. I don't know what the 4 is. I wonder. Remember that grading standards have been applied differently over the years. And when you see this, 2934533, when do you guys think this was graded? If you had to guess, I'm going to tell you, I think this card was graded 24 years ago. That's my guess. Let's look. Let's see if I can find it. Beckett graded card lookup. So if you search, in fact, I'm going to bring it over so you guys can see. I've shown a few other people this recently because they didn't realize this is so easy to do. Oh man, why is this not coming up here? Okay. So if you Google search Beckett graded card lookup and click right there, and it says verify cert number, you just come down here and you grab this number, 2934, and then the next 4, 533. What did I guess? 2002 is going to be my guess. That was way off. 2004. Hey, look, and they show the card. That's cool. It's not the same card, but they show a card. That's kind of neat. You'd rather have it be like the actual card, but back in 2004, nobody was showing the actual card. So that card has not been touched by human hands in 22 years and 2 months. Is that cool to you? It is cool to me. I think it's really neat. So 24465, 65 on the centering. I mean, it's pretty rough. Like, I don't think the centering's that bad, but what do I know? Okay, so that's the MJ. All right, so this Kobe, I showed you guys this last time. I'm just hoping that it does something close to what it did last time. It did not get paid for, though, because some people have problems, man. I can't imagine bidding on something and not paying for it. It like slows everything down. It is the worst thing ever. So if you come into my Instagram and you scroll down, I'll show you guys this. This is so interesting. I posted this last time. Here it is. It has been graded the same amount the white sparkle has as the gold. It's pretty interesting. Remember, 2015 was the first time that we got white sparkle cards, the very first. And so, it was like, what is this thing? They came in their own packs. I think they still come in their own packs, right? White sparkle packs. There were no inserts. There were just the cards. There's no autographs. There's no one-of-ones. There's no numbered cards. There's just white sparkle cards. And we believe that there's somewhere between like 20 and 25-ish white sparkle cards for each player. It might be less than that. It might be as low as like 15. It might be 27 or something. But like there's not very many of these cards. The fact that there's only 10 Kobe's have ever been graded is just bonkers to me. It's insane to me. And the other part of this is obviously like really important to some of us collectors. Some people don't care about this sort of thing, but it's the only white sparkle card he ever had where he was still active. It's the only one. So I'm looking at this card saying, if you want a Kobe card that's like really different, people don't really understand exactly what it is yet, in my opinion. And I think has, great upside. Of course I think that, though. Of course I think that. You shouldn't listen to somebody like me in this case because, I think it's worth a ton, right? I think, I didn't want to sell the card. I think it's like a card that has a chance to do great things. I'm probably the worst person to listen to, though, because I'm totally jaded. I want it to sell for a lot. But I really wasn't going to ever sell it. When you guys see what I picked up, you'll understand why I am selling it. And we will stop there now. Okay, this Kevin Durant, black from 2014. Guys, this is the third select Kevin Durant black ever. It wasn't long after this before he was playing with the Warriors. And if you're anything like me, in the end, you will want Durant in a Thunder uniform. But he won his championships in Golden State. Yeah, I don't care. The best version of Kevin Durant, the one that I remember, the one that I like, the one that I find endearing and fun and was great, it's that guy. That was one of the most collected guys in the NBA. Then he went to the Warriors and everything changed. So no, I don't want him as a Warrior. I want him as a member of the Thunder. And how many real blacks does Kevin Durant have as a member of the Thunder? It's not very many. So I really love that card a lot. Okay, Kobe. Okay, the thing I want to show you guys on this. So I had a friend on Twitter, on X, say, I really like this Kobe Bryant autograph. I think it's really nice. I think eventually I'm going to pick up one of these. And I think that's great because aesthetically, it is awesome. The Ultimate Signatures is in holofoil. So is his name. There's a big area for his autograph. This is in holofoil. It's just really pretty. This is in holofoil. By the way, you want to do something fun? Line up his face with the one from the Logo Man auto. It looks almost exactly the same, but it's different. It's like they edited out they changed his mouth. It's weird. Seriously, I noticed some weird things sometimes. That was one that I noticed. I was like, what? I got to be going crazy. But it's true. The image on here is just the teensiest bit different on the Logo Man auto. So is the Logo Man auto still parallel? I think of it as one. It's still numbered the same. It still looks the same. Everything else still looks the same. But this is the first year that Ultimate ever did Logo Man autographs. And so I just thought it was so interesting that Kobe's image was for some reason changed on one of the two. Anyway, that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to tell you guys, if you go to GemRate and you click on Universal Search, so check this out, and then you go 2003 Ultimate Kobe. Look at this number right here, guys. 334 of these have been graded. Certainly there's some crossover. Certainly it's not actually that high. There's probably, I don't know how many he signed total, but this I do think. I think that is the highest number of Kobe autographs ever. I think there's no other product that has that many Kobe autographs in it. 2012 Prism, I think there's a few hundred, but I don't think there's that many. Let's look. It's a fun thing to check real quick. 2012 Prism Kobe. Where is it? Autographs. Well, that's the silver. Okay, let's just type in autographs. 260, significantly less. Those are going to be two of the highest print run autographs ever. And the reason that I bring it up, so Kobe doesn't have, he's got a lot of autographs, right? His rookie autographs are all not him in a Laker uniform. It's him in high school. And the reason I bring this up is Kobe's obviously like he's the second most popular basketball player to collect in the world, I believe, ahead of LeBron and ahead of Steph. I think it's just MJ and then Kobe. I feel pretty strongly about that. He has autographs that are just, I mean, people love his autographs. They want his autographs. They're always in high demand. They're always selling. People want them for their collections. I wonder if as time goes by, and it's just I don't know that this is true. It's a thought. I wonder if as time goes by, some of the autographs, even that have these higher print runs, because they're known, because they're good looking, because they're viewed as sort of iconic Kobe autographs, I wonder if some of them might be more interesting to look at in the long term. Typically, I would just say, gosh, that's such a high number. I'm not interested in it. And I'm not going to buy it anyways, because this isn't what I collect. But if you're somebody who's like, you know what? I think there's a chance that like I want something that where Kobe autographs are going to be recognizable. And I'm not as concerned about like sheer print run or population, but I want something that people are going to know. As the years go by, they're going to know that card. I don't know there's a better Kobe autograph. It's weird to say that, I know. But what do you guys think? Like, leave your thoughts in the chat. I would love to hear it. What is the most iconic Kobe autograph? Just tell me. Is this on the top 5? Is it on the top 10? What is the list? I think it's a really interesting conversation. Okay, this Rodman here, I want to see in Card Ladder what the most is that this is sold for. I don't just kind of like this card. I just freaking love this card. So this one, also in a 9, moved in 2022 for $36.78. 66096. It's a different copy. It's going to sell for a lot more than that. This is from the very beginning of serial numbered cards. This is the first set of serial numbered cards ever. There's this in the same year. It's EX. And EX, I'm 99% sure, 95% sure came second. I think this one comes first. This is the best level of it. There is no one of one of this. There is just a card out of 150, but it's actually out of 151 because there is a 000 of 150. That's a true story. This card on the front is super glossy. It's like a white sparkle. It's way better looking than anything Prism's ever done, in my humble opinion. I love Prism. And the back is like a very soft, light, not light, a very soft, papery, like cardboard. It feels very eloquent. It's one of the nicest feeling cards ever. When these came out, we were trying to figure out what all this crap meant, all of these things. And now all these years later, it's really distilled down to like what row and is it the legacy? Being a PSA 9, check the pop report. There's very few Rodman parallels I'd rather have than this. And I know it's way higher than it's ever sold for before, but I'm just saying aesthetically, I mean, you could do a lot worse than that. And again, I think the 9 actually, go look at the pop report, but I think it's going to be pretty good. So I thought this looked like it was a secondary auto, but you know what? Look at this. The fact that it doesn't say, it tells me I am wrong. So that's how CD Lamb signed his Colossal Logoman auto, huh? Or Shield auto. Colossal signatures, sure enough, not in blue, it's in black, and it's big in that area right there. Sure enough, great card. PSA 10 on this, guys. There's only 13. And then this Robinson, we've got to look at this on Card Ladder. Because it's got that Fanatics collecting, it's got to have sold. Or that CGC label. Robinson, exquisite limited logos. that's got to be, I think that's the same card right there. So I'm wrong. That's cool. A little bit I'm wrong. That's the best. So check this out. So if you put this next to this, you're going to see, look at that patch. Look at that patch. So the last one of these that sold raw, and it just sold on eBay for $1,750. Somebody then sent that to Fanatics. My guess is that somebody has a vault at Fanatics, and they bought this card and they had it sent there. And as part of that, the card was then immediately authenticated by CGC, who's on site with Fanatics. Same card, number 19, number 18 of 50. I'm sure this is number 18 of 50. Yeah, same card. Now it sold not that long ago, December 4th. So over 3 months ago for $1,750, and here it is at $955. So the question is, how much money do they make or lose from buying this and selling it right away? And does the CGC authentication add anything? We know that it's real, right? Like a card like this. The only thing that it does add is that when you see it like this, you still have to wonder about, like, is it altered and that sort of thing. And CGC is saying, no, like, this thing is authentic. And if it was altered, it would say on here. I've seen cards that are altered that they put, oh, this is altered on the card. So how's it going to compare to that? I'm not sure. It doesn't have the Bible verse, which David usually or sometimes inscribes. But I will tell you, I think this is the nicest looking patch autograph set ever made. I've said that a million times, and I still feel it's true today. Go through and look at how often it sells compared to the 2003. And you're going to find the 2003 sells far more often than the 2004. We have this one, same card, back in December selling. And then before that, you have to go all the way back to October of 2024. So it didn't move for like 14 months. And then before that, April of 2024. And then before that, 2023. So you're getting them about once a year. Whereas the 2003s, it looks like it's 2 or 3 times a year. 2020, yeah, you're getting them about once a year, maybe even a little bit less. That's a huge Art Robinson card. Really like it. All right, man, I'm taking too long. I got to get moving. We already talked about Rodman. We already talked about LeBron. And then we've got the bus. Okay, Jerome Bettis. I just want to see if there's anything on this. So, and it's from 1997, right? Yes. Rubies Bettis. 189. That did not get me where I needed to. 1997. 5 results. Did the 4 ever move? Nope. A couple of raws did. A raw for 1,200 and 8.5 for 14.10. So these have moved. Looks like that maybe Card Ladder doesn't have a complete history of these. Like they haven't been searched for forever. But we've got a fixed price back in 2021. So basically, since 2021, we have 5 sales, and we'll have one now. So basically, you're getting about 1 a year on this card. And this time, you're getting a PSA 4. Can we see why it's a 4? You can see along the top here, it is obviously a little bit rough. There's a line here, but I'm not sure if that's on the card. I would get on a PSA and see if you can check that out. A 4 does not make me think, oh, I can't buy that card. A 4 might be a great looking card. And from all what I can see, I just think it's a great looking card. Some people will write off a card because of the low grade. I'm just not that guy at all. I don't write off a card because it's got a low grade. I don't care. To me, the fact that this is what it is, it's a Bettis 97, is the bigger story. But again, that 4 might scare some people off, and so you might get a deal on it. And if you're somebody who's like, but I really want to have the guy and the card, and I don't care as much about the grade, honestly, these are the best types of auctions because you hate to pay for condition if you don't care about it. At least I do. Take a quick look at hoodies before we jump into the Fanatics Collect this week, and some other stuff too. So we have the Noise Boys Kobe, PSA 9. Check out this Giannis. Guys, it is a Giannis Superfractor. Remember, Giannis did not have Superfractors before the NBA before Topps lost its license. So this is the first year of NBA licensed Giannis Superfractors. The question, of course, is how many chrome, or in this case, how many finest Superfractors does Giannis have? This is an insert. It is not the regular card. This is an insert. And so, I think it's an insert. I'm pretty sure it's number 43. Take a look at that. I mean, it's a cool card. Is that the base card? I feel like we've got to go look at this. So as we look at the card, we're going to discover a couple things. We're going to notice a couple things. So one is that the serial number, or the number on the back, number 43, it's a pretty high number for an insert. But see how it says common? Typically, when you see something like this, it's really differentiating between another thing within a set. My guess as I look at this is this probably is the Giannis finest Superfractor from 2025 finest, which is kind of huge. It's a huge card. Is it as big a card as the Chrome? Historically, no. Historically, the finest Superfractor is not as big a card as the Chrome Superfractor, but it's like secondary to it. Question is how many there are and that sort of thing. So what I've done is I've opened Beckett right here. So now watch this. I'm going to go Giannis 2025 finest Superfractor. And we're going to get a number that's not going to be 1, 7. It's not that bad. So check this out. First one that pops up here, serial number 1, number 1, and it's AU6. So this is an Aura Superfractor. Then there's the finishers, the headliners, the Masters autograph. There's the finest Superfractor Giannis, 1 of 1, card number 43. That is the most base Superfractor there is. Guys, that is what this is. I am shocked. I thought with that color in the background that this was going to be some wonky Superfractor, but I think I'm wrong. Let's see. Are there any other 43s? No. See, what I said is exactly right. You've got the uncommon and the rare portions of the base set. You can see I haven't opened finest because I don't know anything about finest yet. But there's a common, an uncommon, and a rare, which is cool. That's what they did in 1996, and that's what they're doing here. 3 different levels, and all 3 of them this time have a Superfractor. And that is the 1 of Giannis, and it is the most base version, which to me is the best one. I really like that card. I do. I really like it. I was not expecting to see that today. Really cool. Okay, back to hoodies. A 6 with an MC qualifier on the Chamberlain. Let me show you guys this real quick. So when you see MC, what does MC stand for? In this case, it stands for miscut. And if you look at this, you'll say, well, that just looks really off-centered, right? But miscut generally means that a part of another card is on this card, or that some of it is missing. You know what, though? Doesn't look like it here. Nothing's missing on the back. And on the front, nothing's missing either. Nothing's on the card that isn't supposed to. Maybe this part right here is a little bit funny because it sort of almost goes away. To me, that's an OC. I don't know why that's an MC. That's why PSA gets paid the big bucks. They know, and I don't. So anyway, okay. What is this? Downtown Black, Archie Manning. Okay, now we're under $1,000 card here, but obviously lots of big stuff. Check out the 6 on the start 8. Kobe, one of his coolest cards. They call it the Goldenrod Error, $534. The Stephen Castle, number 2 out of 10, triple patch autograph, and the Ozzy Osbourne autograph at $460. They always have a really interesting, unique selection of stuff at Hoodies every week at auction. So now let's go to the let's check alt. We'll just touch alt very briefly, ending this. Well, we've got all auctions up. We want to just pull up just this Thursday. You have the LeBron Gold, and that's the LeBron Gold 1 of 50. By the way, you can see here who it's sold by. It's interesting that they've started doing this alt, and I know they've been doing it for a while. But Josh that's Cardboard Chronicles is selling it. It's been viewed 36,000 times. 206 people are watching it, and it's a big deal. Why? Because it's the 1 of 50, and it's a PSA 10. So super low pop, the first one ever. one of his very few and rarest gold refractors. That is a huge card. Shohei pitching gold BGS 9.5, 2/50 super refractor of Cooper, a Cade gold rookie. That's going to be a big deal, and a LeBron gold prism, and as well as the big three on a single card. This one is a sticker autograph, but it's still really cool. The bulk of our show, though, will go to the Fanatics Collect Premier Auction, which again, Jeremy and I will be doing in New York, which I could not be more excited about. And we're thrilled to be able to do that auction. And I talked a little bit about it earlier. If you didn't hear that, go back earlier in the show and we'll talk about why that's going to be special, who the special guest is that we're going to have on the show. So it'll be really fun. I obviously have to take a few minutes to talk about this card. You've seen it and heard about it in a lot of different places, but I want to talk about it from maybe a different perspective than other people have. Then the Brady about, an 8.5 is a big deal because there's obviously a lot that are lower grade than this. I've seen this card in hand. It is spectacular. The LeBron Gold BGS 9. The 9 is going to save you a little bit of money here, and to me, that's just awesome. The centering on this is an 8.5, but the rest of the card is gem worthy, according to Beckett. $120,000 for one of the two big LeBron James rookies. The Michael Jordan 2006 1/1. We have seen a string now over the course of the last 6 months of most of the best 1/1 base cards in Exquisite's history hit the market. And I just am shocked that they ever came to auction. I think they're some of the best cards out of Exquisite. It used to be where the 1/1 parallel of the base card, even out of a product like Exquisite, was really thought of as like the card. And really that they've been outshone by the autographs and the patches. But this one's at $27,000. Yes, it's going to sell for far more than that. 2006 is an interesting year. I'll talk about why, actually. Steph Curry, most of Steph Curry's NTRPAs, even these ones out of 25, the vast majority, and I mean like 90%, are in Beckett holders. This one being in a PSA holder is a differentiator. I personally like the patch too. There have been patches that have been swapped out, and this would have been a candidate to be swapped out because although it's 3 colors, it's not even. It's not everything that you could hope for. I personally like that. Why? Why would you care about that? Because I think it ensures and makes it more likely that the patch is original to the card, and that's honestly all I care about. Having a patch that's original to the card is the most important thing to me. And a card that I can promise you is going to go up a lot from where it is at right now. The single highest selling Dennis Rodman card of all time, the 1 of 5 credentials, the essential credentials. Now, here's your stat for you. A couple years ago, back in 2024, the Allen Iverson sold for over $700,000. It was numbered to 3. Since then, guess how many of these cards from the set that are numbered to 10 have been sold? You would think with a huge sale like that all of the biggest cards would be sent to auction, right? Nope. Only one other card numbered to 10 or less has sold from the Now set since that sale. That was the Kobe Bryant that had toning, and it sold for a lot as well. This Rodman, same copy, had never sold before, and then finally sold a few years ago, and it became the highest Dennis Rodman sale ever at well over $200,000. Now it's back up again. I don't know how it'll do compared to the last time it sold. I don't know if it's going to sell for way more because the market's way up, or if it's not going to sell for as much because people don't like to see the same card sell. I will say this. I said it then, and I still feel this way. That's the best Dennis Rodman card in the world. You can tell me, well, it's got to be the PMG green. Okay, I think I'd rather have this than the PMG green. There's half as many, and it's such a beloved set. It's certainly close, though, between those two, as you'll see if you look at the top 10 set or top 10 sales ever. A Shohei RPA, number to 5. Interesting, guys. Interesting. What I want to do on this Shohei, I want to do like a little bit of learning real quick. Gosh, there's so many things here to focus on. Let's hit this Shohei. We talked about this Jordan. It's funny, we didn't see a gold Jordan jersey autograph sell in years. Remember, 5 of these have silver writing, and this is the one that's gold. We didn't see one sell in years, and then one sold, and now another one selling. It's kind of crazy. The tennis never gets anything that's this high. We got to talk about that one. Judge is going to have his 2 highest card sales ever within a week of each other. That's kind of fun. The Kobe 04. I love 04. It's my favorite year of Exquisite. The 1 of 1. Again, we're seeing the 1 of 1 Exquisites. I guarantee you it's like one collection, maybe 2 collections where they're all, coming from. So many amazing cards at this auction. An Ant Gold, Luka patch autograph that's game used. One of the best SGA cards really in existence. This is his. I mean, if there was such a thing as a Superfractor autograph, that is it for SGA from his rookie year. This Steph is impossible in a PSA 10. There's like 20 in the world. Judges has a few huge cards in this auction. Logoman autograph. There's the Steph that we were looking at earlier. This one's a PSA 8, 23,500. It will sell for a lot more than that. Okay, so let's look at the first 4 from this page, and then we'll go through. I want to go through the whole auction if we have a chance, but I want to do it kind of like that, where we just look at each one individually. Okay, so here's my take on this card. So we've seen the highest selling sports card of all time last year was a dual Logoman autograph. It was of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. You guys know the story. You know what it sold for. You know all that. If there is an equivalent to that in baseball, is this it? I'm not sure. It's definitely a little bit of apples and oranges, but you isolate the variables wherever you can. Why might a dual Logoman autograph be the best card that you could ever have, right? It is, like I said, it's the highest selling sports card of all time right now. It's not the highest selling card ever because we have a Pokemon card that sold for more. Why would the dual Logoman auto of Kobe and Jordan suffer as much as it did? Well, on a card, you want to be able to see everything on one side. That's sort of something that I think collectors have shown over the years. Is although they like duals where one player is featured on one side and one player is on another side, they generally like them both on the same side. If you're going to put 2 Logomen on a card, you can't, and 2 autographs, you can't put more than that. There's barely enough room to really design elements around it to make the card still really good looking. Topps has done that here, in my opinion. You've got a great looking image of Ohtani. You've got a great up top, great image of Judge below, but it's not as good as the Ohtani. Ohtani, you get the full name. You don't get that with Judge. You actually get part of the jersey. They could have moved Judge up. It would have felt weird, and it wouldn't have had the same details around the side. The writing around the side that tells you, that they're both MVPs that season. But the gold Logoman is what sets this one apart, and that this represents the very first time that Topps was able to get MLB to change the Logoman for the MVPs for that season. And it's incredible that they did that. So it's like the best form of the Logoman. The card's been held by both of them. It's been signed in serial number 1 of 1. Compare that to the Jordan Kobe. The Jordan Kobe is all of those things, except the Logomen aren't as significant. We don't really know where they're from. We know that the Jordan is from a specific year. We know that one's older. We know that in basketball, those are probably the 2 most collected players ever. And although these 2 guys are great, they're probably not the 2 most collected guys ever at this point, right? You're probably not going to take Aaron Judge as the 2nd most collected player ever. Even if you're going to say, well, I think Shohei's got a chance to be the most collected guy ever. Judge is probably not number 2. This card's made later. But again, we're comparing it with a card that people believe is worth $20 million today. Sold for $13 million. So which one would I rather have? You guys know the answer to that. I'm taking the basketball card. But I sort of get it for baseball. This is, for a lot of people, the peak. The question that I think you have to ask is, would you rather just have Shohei? Shohei sold for, what was it, $3 million? Just Shohei? Depends on what you think of Aaron Judge. I mean, his rookie just sold for $5-point-something million. This will be either the first or the 2nd highest Aaron Judge card ever. And you'll be able to, and you'll say, well, a lot of that's because of Shohei. That's probably true. But it's going to be a fun one to watch. And I think, that the guys with the crazy money have can certainly talk themselves into it. Is the first time they ever did this. The Topps ever did this. It's really a neat piece. Okay, this Jordan, we already sort of talked about it, but what I want to highlight here that you might not know. So let me see if I'm crazy about this. If you scroll in super far on the 2006, most 2006 exquisite cards have embossing on them. I don't know if the base set does. Now that I look closely at it, I'm not sure. This might, but there's nothing else that really, look right here. Do you guys see that right there? I think that's the Upper Deck logo. I wish I could get a 360 view on this, but I believe that's an embossed Upper Deck logo. And if you look at all years of 2006, all exquisite cards from 2006, you're going to notice, different levels of embossing on the card, which they didn't really do in other years of exquisite. But look, here's really the story. Michael Jordan has, 7 years of exquisite cards. He has a base card in every one of those years. In 2003, that's the one that people consider the best one. There's a regular card at 225, there's a gold 25, and then there's a regular version, or there's a platinum 1 of 1 or a rainbow 1 of 1. Jordan has a 1 of 1 each of those 7 years, from 2003 to 2009. And those are some of his best exquisite cards on the planet. So anytime one of the 7 pops up, it's going to be a big deal. Now, the question I would ask is this: would you rather have a Jordan 1 of 1 from the ultra high end of high end sets or from a lower end brand? Well, we just saw a couple of 1 of 1s of Jordan stuff for huge money from an ultra low end brand. They're earlier, they're from his playing days, but they're from a far lower end brand. And I think that a lot of people probably feel that way. But if you want the 1 of 1 from the highest end brand, guys, that's it for 2006. And that's one of the 7 ever. And then the last one that we'll hit, okay, so actually, no, there's 2 more on this. Okay, so this Ohtani right here. Number 3 of 5, notice it is from 2018, Dynasty. People see this autograph and they're like, well, that's a really thick autograph. Is it like, is that really like, was that supposed to be on the card, or, was that an in-person autograph? No, it's signed that way. So what I want to understand, though, because remember, this is back when there wasn't like tons of RPAs for guys, right? Like, how many Shohei Ohtani RPAs are there? How many does he have from Dynasty? Those are the sort of things that I really want to find out. Let's find out right now. So if you come into Beckett and you type in Ohtani 2018 patch Topps Dynasty, you get 26. You get 26 matches. But here's where it gets really interesting. Okay. There are 26 of them, but how many of them are just Shohei? Why are there 26 different variations? And so if you scroll down, you can see that card number APSO 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 all are numbered to 10. What that means is there are seven different regular versions that are numbered to 10. That's like there's 70 total, but they each have different images. Then if you scroll down further, you're going to find the same thing, but there are 7 that are numbered to 5 that are blue. So there's 70 regulars, there's 35 blues, and then lastly, there's 7 golds, right? So by my math, that's 102 total normal Shohei Ohtani RPAs out of Topps Dynasty. If you keep scrolling down, you see like this one's with Trout, this one's with Ichiro, this one's with Trout, this one's with Ichiro. And then there's this one that's the logo patch. That's like the 1 of 1 best of the best of all of them, right? So if you're going to include that, it's 106 total. Think about how that compares to a guy like LeBron and how many RPAs he has. LeBron's got 99 regulars plus 23 goals. Think about Steph. Steph's got 99 NTRPAs, 25 golds 25 golds, and then he's got 5 of the platinums, right? So it's a similar number in terms of RPAs. So in terms of RPAs for Shohei Ohtani, he has a similar number in total compared to a guy like LeBron or a guy like Steph. But because the RPA is not as focused on in baseball, or at least historically it hasn't been, I'm not sure that people know that. Now let's go look real quick at what they have sold for in the past, because I suspect I suspect they've sold well. I suspect we've got some six-figure sales. I know that because I have a friend who has one who was telling me about it. So check this out. PSA 10 regular card, 158 grand. PSA 10 regular card, 101 grand. PSA 9, what is this? Is this a regular? Yeah, regular card. When have we seen an out of 5 sale? How long has it been since we've seen an out of 5 sale? Let's do date sold. Okay, so last year, this card sold. Last year, this card sold 1 out of 5 in March, almost exactly a year ago for $25,000. That's the last time that we saw an out of 5 sale. Remember, there's 35. There's 7 different ones, each numbered to 5. We saw one sell last year. We saw one sell the year before that. Actually, we saw a few sell the year before that, at least 3 or 4 of them. But look what has happened since then, all right? 25,000. Now regular ones out of 10 are selling for 6 figures. Where'd it go? This is the first one that we have seen sell in over a year, and it's definitely a big deal. So it'll be fun to watch that one. It's already at 6 figures. So we knew that it was going to be big. It's already at 6 figures. But the question, again, that I think is worth asking is, if the RPA is the biggest thing in basketball and it's the biggest thing in football, and Shohei has one in baseball, will it at some point be the biggest thing in baseball, or is that just always going to belong to the Bowman Chrome? All right. And then last but not least, I've got to look at this Alcaraz. So it's not often that a tennis card is in this sort of realm. In fact, I wonder, what is the highest selling Alcaraz ever? I remember there were 2 or 3 that were like crazy, crazy prices at the same time last year that competed with each other. There they are. And then there's a quick fall off, right? So most expensive Alcaraz ever was when he won the Indian Wells Championship, and his autograph, what do they call this? They call it like the racket knob. Yeah. When his racket knob inscription auto 1 of 1 from the tournament sold for $222,000. So how is this card different? Well, this isn't a racket knob. This is from the shirt, and it's from the Australian Open. So at the Australian Open, he wore this on his shirt, and then he signed it, and it's serial numbered 1 of 1. Now, it's not inscribed, but other than that, I mean, the Australian Open is a much bigger event. I don't know how important that's going to be for people to know that. What I do know, 1 of 1, graded a 9, nice autograph, Nike swoosh, and again, it's from the tournament. To me, if there's one story about this card that you've got to look at, it's in this tiny little writing. Sometimes the small writing, sometimes like the little writing is the most important thing on a card to look at. And that, I think, is the case for this Alcaraz. Because you can see right here, this relic, or the relic contained within this card, was used at the 2024 Australian Open. I wonder how Alcaraz did. I got to look that up real quick. 2024 Australian Open tennis men's. Let's see. So Alcaraz did not win, but you know actually where it's from. It'd be better if he won, obviously. Let's see. How did Alcaraz do? Alcaraz. So he won in the 3rd round. He won in the 2nd round. He won in the 4th round. He lost in the quarterfinal. He lost in the quarterfinal. So he had a great tournament. He just didn't win. That's good. That makes me feel a little bit better. You obviously hope on a card like that they've won, or that they won the match, that they won the tournament. But what am I doing? I'm in the wrong place. Sorry, guys. So we know what tournament it's from. The card is from 2024. It is a 1 of 1. He's obviously the hottest thing going in tennis. Card's got hollow foil and is really pretty. You can see it's event used. Do we know? What does it say? We don't actually know what it's from exactly. Like, is it from a shirt, or it just says relic? So that would be interesting to know too. Barkley, this is one that we have to dive into because of that gold logo, man. Got to look at that card. The Shohei, actually, I want to tell you guys a story about this one too, because that card, I don't know that people realize how big of a card that is. It is not the single biggest card from that Topps Now, but it's one of them, and it definitely deserves a story. I love this clay, Steph. I'm not a big fan of tags, laundry tags without teams or without logo men on them, but I just love that card. Obviously, a huge Kobe, huge MJ, Kaboom Gold of Drake May. 9.5 on the Steph refractor is a big deal. PSA 7 on the 288 is a big deal. Shohei from 2018, 1 of 1 autograph. And I wonder how many Shohei 2018 1 of 1s there are. It seems like we see them fairly common. Not common, but we see them fairly often. One of the most interesting would you rathers is this 2003 MJ in a PSA 8. This is 25 compared to the 1 of 1 from 2006. I just don't think it's close. I take the 1 of 1 from 2006, but from a price perspective, it's actually pretty close right now, which to me is a little bit crazy. One of the toughest 10s in all of the hobby, the 1987 PSA 10 sticker of Michael Jordan. Go look up the percentages on that. It's impossible. GP and Paul Pierce, both on logo men. I believe they're teammates at this point, both with the Celtics. I think Peyton's patch is from Milwaukee, but I think he's featured on the card with the Celtics, which is very cool. The LeBron James USA Black. This is a set that just is a sleeper, man. It's early Prism. It's one of the very few times that you get a lot of the USA guys all on in their jerseys, their USA jerseys. And this is the black, and it's sitting at 1,800. I've seen a few of these sell low. It's sort of a sleeper set from Team USA, because again, they just didn't make that many USA cards of these guys. LeBron Prism Gold's always going to be a big deal, but especially when it's a PSA 10. Really an interesting Vince Carter here, 2000 Showcase. This is the 1 of 1 masterpiece. The color on this is really, really, really pretty, and the image of Vince is really, really pretty. Vince does not show up in the premiere often, and that's one that certainly had to be in the premiere. That's one of the biggest Vince Carter cards you'll see hit auction. Number to 99, this is the green Shohei. The BGS 10 of the Scoring Kings is a pop 1 of 1. If it was a PSA pop 1 of 1, it would be zillions of dollars. But since it's Beckett, and a lot of those things have really started to sell for not quite as much. It's kind of crazy to me. I think, Beckett's graded so many of these through the years. A pop 1 of 1 on that is a huge card. Stafford's 2009 X-Fractor, really an interesting card. $2,900 on that. Judge Blue, the black label is the big deal there at number 2. Another big Judge, and a Kaboom of Cam Ward. This MJ autograph is just phenomenal. SB signature is sort of hit and miss. Thinner card stock, a lot of hollow foil on this particular card. Aesthetically, I just don't know that there's very many Jordan autographs that you will ever find that aesthetically are in the same ballpark as this one. If aesthetics are your thing, that's the card. And it's actually fairly early too. Not like the earliest, but 2004 is certainly not late. Topps Chrome Blue Wave, green Kaboom, green Cole Palmer. Such an interesting duel here. I'll bet you money T-Mac signed this first. Vince came in and sort of saved the day, though. Half man, half amazing. You don't see a lot of his inscriptions that say that, but that one's a big one. Crosby RPA, maybe the most iconic hockey card of the era. MJ super duper fading on this is probably the cheapest you're ever going to find in 03 limited logos. MJ, you know what? We've seen copies with more fading. We have seen copies with more fading. Go check Card Ladder on that. Anything else really jumping out to me that I really want to spend more time on this page? Superfractor of Yamal. That's a big deal card. Premium Players of MJ, pop 1 of 13. That is one worth watching. Premium Player is one of those inserts that just sort of people don't think about as being like super duper rare, but it is super rare. LeBron 03 Exquisite. This is the gold. Don't get the autograph, don't get the patch, but you get everything else, and it's 1/4 of the print run. 21 grand on that. I think that'll sell for quite a bit more. Really an interesting Shohei facsimile signature. We wish that signature was real. It would be worth $1 zillion. What is this Jordan? Jordan with autograph. Huh. I didn't even know SGC ever graded autographs. It must have been for a short time. I don't remember seeing any of those. That is an interesting piece. Barry Sanders, PSA 8. LeBron rookie auto with MJ. Rookie auto, really long signature. Imagine you're this guy who's just gotten called into the NBA and you're signing cards along Michael Jordan. 2025 Ohtani autograph, 1/1. A PSA 9 with superior eye appeal for Fanatics Collect. $5,500 currently on the Drysdale. I'll bet that sells for a lot more. I'd love to know what the pop is on that. Interesting LeBron champ tag. Remember, LeBron added to this, I think. This is really cool, actually. When did the Lakers win the championship? It's 2020, right? So this is cool. We will take a second to talk about that one. I think you guys probably get tired of me talking about championship tags because I do all the time. But most of them I don't like. I like that one a lot. Check out this LeBron MJ duel. A lot of hollow foil on that card. Şengün's Nebula rookie. What are they going to do in the playoffs? Boy, that card could change in a hurry. Could absolutely change in a hurry. I love this LeBron. Off-centered, but almost all of them are. Pop 1 of 5, just 3 graded higher. Verstappen's zipper autograph. Living Legends autograph. Was this a buyback? It's a flight school. Wish it was a buyback. Let's look at that and see if we can highlight the autograph a little bit and see how that turned out. I got to move faster, though. Oh, I've got to talk about this Jordan. And I got to talk about this Luka. Man, there's so much good stuff here. I clicked the wrong button. I don't like it when I do that. Man, there's a whole bunch on here. So I'm going to take just a minute and talk about each of these. So let's start with Barkley. So Charles Barkley gets to Houston in 1997, and then they're wearing the gold logoman for the 50th anniversary at that point. He plays, let me make sure I got this right. I'm pretty darn sure on this, but Charles Barkley stats. And yeah, 96, 97. And the gold logo man is 96, 97. And then he plays 97, 98. And then he comes back in 99. And then he comes back in 99, 2000. Okay. So Barkley has these years here right at the end. So let's see. So what's interesting to me about this? If you wanted to have the ultimate Charles Barkley card, you'd probably want him in a Suns uniform. The Rockets probably aren't your first choice. You probably either want Barkley as a Sixer or as a Sun. But you got him here as a Rocket, but that was the right choice for this card, 1,000%. And the reason for that is because of the gold logoman. The gold logoman was only used while he was a member of the Rockets. In 96, 97, when Charles Barkley had just made the NBA's 50th anniversary team, he and everybody in the league had these little gold logomen on the front of their jerseys. If you put him here as a member of the Sixers or as a member of the Suns, the logoman doesn't match the jersey. So this is the right way to do it. Flawless, everything in it for the NBA cards are game used. You look at the back and verify that. As far as Barkley game used autograph cards go, I don't think that there's anything that has ever been made that can even touch this. What else would you rather have? It's the most recognizable logo man. It's signed. The card is phenomenal. It's not like an acetate. It's like a regular glossy cardboard. The autograph looks great. It's got a very good chance of being the highest selling Charles Barkley patch autograph card ever. So there's that. Okay, this Ohtani is huge. So the 50-50 team was such a big deal, right? It's one of the biggest selling Tops Now programs ever. They made a zillion of these cards. One person got an autographed Shohei with inscription, and then 5 people got an autograph like this, and that's it for great cards that came out of the product. This one This one happens to be a PSA 10 with 10 autograph too. It's one of the best cards from one of the biggest moments in the history of baseball. Certainly one of the biggest moments of Ohtani's career. Remember when he goes 50-50, he hits all those home runs and everything. Let's see if it talks about it on the back. Let's see. Yep, second homer, slugger finished with 3 home runs. Yeah, so it describes that on the back of the card. So it describes the 3 home runs, the 10 RBIs, the circumstances around one of the greatest games of baseball ever played. And again, they sold how many of these? Let's go look that up. We got to look that up too. So, because I forget how to do this. Let's check ChatGPT. Let's see if ChatGPT can help us. How many of the Topps Now 50-50 cards did Topps end up making for Shohei Ohtani? This may just not work, and I should have done this without you guys watching me, so forgive me, but watch my stupidity here real quick. Final print run of 653,737 cards. Again, there's the one that's the autograph and inscribed with the date, with the 50-50 club. And then outside of that, there's just the 5 autographs, of which this is one and of which this is the highest graded. Now, here's the crazy part, though. You do the math, $11.99, and some of them you could get cheaper, but $11.99, let's just say that it averaged out at like $8 a piece. $8 times 653,000. Like Topps made over $5 million on this one Topps Now promotion. And this is the second best card from the whole thing. That's crazy, guys. That is bonkers, nuts, craziness. Okay, so this LeBron championship tag. Why the number 16 stood out to me and why I did a double take. Because I don't generally care a whole lot for LeBron's championship tag stuff. Because a ton of it has come out in the last year. Panini just sort of dumped a lot of it right at the end in Eminence and in Flawless. So I just honestly wasn't going to even notice this card until I noticed this. That date right there. This came out before they won their championship in LA. This came out before he and Davis went and won the championship in the bubble. This number now is 17. And is that cool? I think it's really cool because LeBron ended up changing this number. It's not just a whatever number. He ended up changing it. And there's a lot fewer tags from before LeBron won the championship with LA than after. All right. And okay, this Jordan, the autograph's a little bit dark. Don't love that, but I do love this insert. Living Legends was like a little bit more or a little less than 1 per box this year in Fleer. I opened a ton of this stuff. 1993 Fleer. I love that product. That's the best card you can get in the whole thing. So people don't care about this as much as I do. That's the first Michael Jordan patch card ever. What do you mean it's the first Jordan patch card ever? He had one in 1997. No, he didn't. He had a jersey card, and some of them had pieces of patch on them, but the card was designed as a jersey card, and there are some patches. This card, as you can see right here, was a patch card. This is the first year, 1999, where they took the premium parts of the jersey and they said, these are patches, not just jerseys. Now, the world has sort of tried to change it so that the language is everything is a patch if it's from a game-worn thing. I think that's bullcrap. That's not how it was for years and years. I'm not going to just go along with how everybody else does it. And even Fanatics Collective just puts patch on all jersey cards, but this is not a jersey card. This card actually is a patch. And then from 2018, this is like a huge deal card. It's numbered to 7. There's less of these than there are the golds. Will it sell for as much as a gold? Probably not, because this isn't as beloved. But I think there's something to the point, like if you're a real collector and you want to get all the rarest Lucas, this is actually a harder card to find than the gold. At least there's fewer of these than there are of the gold. Okay, let's go to page 3. Excuse me, that was page 3. We're going to move to page 4. Reminder, this show can only go 2 hours, so I got to move really quick here. Jordan's Olympic team bag, crazy, and a GI holder is big deal. But this Wemby, man, 2024 1-in-1 laundry tag. It's not the regular logo man, but it's the laundry tag logo man, numbered 3 out of 5. BGS, PSA 10 on the X Fractor LeBron. What is this Roman Anthony Pearl? It almost looked like a printing plate for a second, like the color stripped out of it. Obviously, big name, numbered to 10 on the autograph there. Tiger's most iconic card, numbered to 900. 3 color on the Honest is always a big deal. Very few of them are 3 colors. This Kobe is so interesting. A lot of people aren't select collectors, but there's a lot of gold collectors out there, and Kobe Golds is just straight up, like they're gone. They don't ever come to auction anymore. Remember, you've got 2012 through 2015 Prism that are playing days, so he only has 40 gold Prism cards. Well, what's the closest thing to a regular gold Prism Kobe? Some people would say a gold Select. And he only has 40 of those, too, from his playing days. This is one of them. It'd be interesting to go look and see how often they move. I'm going to check. They don't move very often, though. I can't remember the last one. I'm probably forgetting something obvious, but Select gold out of 10. Let's see the last time that a regular Kobe Select gold sold. We're getting a lot of Buffkin. Let's put in Bryant. And these are all parallel, or these are all inserts and autographs. How far do we have to go back? Okay, so this one, actually, it's not that far. My bad. Fanatics Premiere was December, so it's 4 months. 4 months ago, this one from 2013 sold for $25,500. How will this one compare? It's a better looking card, but it's not as old. I think it's a better looking card than this one, though. What do you guys think? This one right here, or this one right here? It's this one, right? The yellow and gold. Yeah, it's a better card. First patches. We talked about the Jordan. I happen to have Kobe in the same auction. I love this set. I've always loved this set. I don't remember how many cards Kobe has. I think he might have 2 different cards out of 25. Definitely check that. I think people get confused on how many different variations. There's jerseys, there's patch. What else is there? But I love that card. I do, and I love it next to the Jordan. This is a great piece. Not as great of a piece on the Jordan, but that's just how it was. There's a lot of better pieces of Kobe at that point than there were Jordan. And then the Dwayne Wade 2018 championship tag autograph. Was he at? When did Wade retire? I gotta go look this up because that is gonna be important. Dwayne Wade stats. I think he was still in the league. This was his last year. This was Dwayne Wade's last season. Let's click on that one. We'll highlight that. We'll do a few of these. Let's click on the Durant. Talk about that. We've talked about this one a lot of times, but it's good to see that one. Seaver rookie and a 9 is obviously a big deal. Ooh, I've got a fun one on this Jordan. I don't think we've seen that one before. One of Kobe's rarest rookies, but especially in a PSA 10 on the rubies. A cut above is just amazing. From 96 or before, that's arguably the best Jordan insert ever, not including parallels. I think it really does have a good case. What else on here do we need to look at? Oh, another Judge logo man. Holy smokes, how many Judge logo men do we have in this auction? It's crazy. Okay, because for the sake of time, I kind of want to see if we can figure out where that Iverson patch comes from. Can we figure that out? Let's skip it. Let's go back here. Okay, so for Wade, this is his final year where he's active with the Heat. It's interesting because Wade's first year in the league. Let's check this out. I've got this little thing up here. This will be interesting to look at as we look at the Wade too. Okay. So this is the Wade card that we're talking about. His championship tag auto. I actually just did a video on I have a Wade championship tag auto. And what I did is I did like a YouTube and I called it Why I Own This. And I talked about why I like the card. Go check that out if you have any interest in that sort of thing. I don't know why this is taking so long to pull up. Sorry, guys. So there we go. Finally pulled up. So the reason that I love my copy is that number right there That guy right there is responsible for all 3 of those. He is on all 3 of those championships. The number 3 on the trophy, number 3 on the jersey, 1 of 2 over here, the autograph on the card. The card is beautiful. The card is graded a BGS 9.5. It's $6,000. It's numbered to 2. I think on the back, we're just going to get the generic sort of like, and it's a good thing from Flawless. Like, this is from a game worn jersey. I don't know why it's giving me such a hard time right now. Okay, look at this. Make room for another moment in the Wade Farewell Memory Tour. Okay, so we just get this certificate language right here. The enclosed game-worn material and autograph are guaranteed by Panini, blah, blah, blah. So here's why I like this, though, more than I'll bet most people do. Okay, so look at this. This is how I think about things, at least. And maybe it's crazy, but this is how I think about it. And, of course, I think this way because I own the card, right? So 2014-15 is the first year that they made championship tag autographs. The next season, they made championship tag autographs in Flawless. So 2014-15 jerseys went into Eminence. For some reason, Wade did not get a championship tag auto in 2014 Eminence, but he did in 2015, which meant that was the only year where and this is why I like my copy so much, one of the reasons, that was the only year when he was originally with the Heat where he had a championship tag card. The very next season, he was playing with the Bulls. And you can go look, and it's like, does this matter? It matters massively. Let me show you this. Why? Because for Dwayne Wade, what number was on his Heat tag? 3, right? Because the Heat had won 3 championships, of which he was one of the only guys, he and Haslam, who was a part of all 3. But check this out. Championship tag. I got to go quicker. I'm going to run out of time. Okay. If I don't do it in under 2 hours, I get in trouble because StreamYard can't be pushed to YouTube for under 2. So look at this. This card, now granted, this one's autographed and this one's not. This one's a 1 of 1 and this one's at a 2. But let me be clear. The biggest difference here, even beyond the autograph, he's with the Heat here and he is with the Bulls here. And that number with the Bulls and Dwayne Wade doesn't really matter. That number with Dwayne Wade and the Heat matters a lot. So, if you go back now, let's check this one out. Here's just a regular one, a regular Wade, number to 2, but this one's not autographed. It is vertical, which some people prefer. That one sold for $7,200 in January. But guys, look at this. This one is autographed, and this one is while he's with the Heat. You look back at this. It's when he's in his final year with the Heat. Do I like mine the best from 2015-16? The first year they did it, yes. I like mine the best. I personally think that's the best Dwayne Wade championship tag auto. I don't think it's close. I think that the second best one might be this one that's up. Because it's from the last year. You could say, well, either of these years would be the same. That's probably true. There's something about it being from his final season, though, that's kind of cool. The thing I know for sure is he only has 1, 2, 3. He has 4 years where they did the tag, 3 where they made cards with the Heat. And those are easily the best 3. And the tag autograph, it's always numbered out of 2 during those years. Those are the best ones. Okay. The Durant I wanted to highlight because he's one of the players of the era. How's this time going to end up looking as a member of the Rockets? I'm not sure. Maybe similar to the Nets, maybe similar to some of the other teams he's played for. But what I do know is that is a beautiful card. It is the image variation. It's one of the best Durant cards of the whole era, though. And although he's not, his career is winding down, he only has so many. He had a superfractor in 07 from Chrome, 08 in Chrome, and 09. And then there's this year. This is his 4th year of superfractors. This is the image variation, so it's not the regular one, but it's better looking, in my opinion, than the regular one. Although it probably won't be worth as much. Wait, maybe this isn't. PSA did not label it as an image variation, but Fanatics did. It's got to be. Okay. All right. So Jordan, we only have a few minutes left. We're gonna at least hit this one real quick though. So here's my question as I look at this. Actually, let's do this real quick. Hold on. If you ask any big 90s MJ collectors what the best Jordan card is ever, they're going to probably say the green MJ. A lot of people are going to say that. Like a huge percentage of people are going to say that. But the crazy thing is that they didn't just make one Jordan green, right? I guess I shouldn't say it. It's crazy. Whenever there's something that's super popular and people love it, they'll always, reproduce it like crazy. So they didn't just make one Jordan green. Well, they did just make one Jordan green in the 90s. But as the years gone by, they've actually made 16 more Jordan green cards. My question for you is this the second best one? If you look through Card Ladder, you'll see that at the top, you've got the 97. If one of these was to sell today, it might legitimately be like $5-10 million. It's well into the millions of dollars if one of those sells today. And then the second card that you see is a card that I'm not sure is second anymore. 2008 had this green set. The first 10 were green, just like back in 97. But these cards have really flaked. And although the card is sold for $200,000, $260,000, you can scroll down and see that the more recent ones sell for a lot less. My question is, which card would you rather have? So, all right, sorry, let me say that again. Which card would you rather have? This one right here, it's NBA licensed, but it's falling apart. It's got all sorts of issues. Or the Jumpman. The Jumpman's interesting, right? That image. It's the same thing from the 1985 Nike card. It's taken straight from that card, right? Placed on a PMG green. There's only 10 of them in the world. What do you think? Is it the second best one ever? Is there another one that's the second best ever? Or is this the second best PMG green Jordan ever? I'm not going to tell you what I think. I don't really know. I think it's got a case, though. Like, it's an iconic image. Look at the other options. You've got this one from 2013. It's one of the earlier reproductions of the green. You got the one from 2011, same sort of thing, earlier productions of the green. Got this one that sort of is designed by Arena Design that, is green, but he's not in a typical looking jersey. What do you guys think? Which of the Jordan greens is the second best ever? I think the Jumpman's got a case. All right, man, we're close to out of time. Let's see if we do one more page. One more page. Did we get through everything? Yeah, we did. Let's hit page 5. There's 8 pages. Just see if there's anything else that really stands out to us massively. Kobe Gold from 03, Kobe Gold rookie, a trio, Nike patch auto, net assets, the Jordan Upper Deck jersey autograph, Tracy McGrady 1 of 1. Oh, that's an interesting card. Had exquisite. Jordan Platinum Portraits, Cade tag autograph. Oh, that dual logo and auto of D Will and CP3 is an awesome card, especially because of how good of a rivalry they had. This Garnett is arguably the best Upper Deck parallel of Kevin Garnett ever made in 1850. It's really an interesting piece. It's sold before when it was found in a binder. Green on the LeBron back when they numbered greens to 10. Another Garnett logo, man. This is the 1 of 1, though, out of 2006 SP Game Used. Remember, SP Game Used did non-autographed single logo men for Upper Deck. PSA 10 on the Steph 10, or PSA 10 on the Steph Silver. This card is super interesting. I did an awesome reel on this. Check out the patch here. This is from a Peyton Manning rookie jersey. A yellowed Duncan Go Nuts. Page 7. Oh, the white on the MJ. Do yourself a favor and look at the combined pop report on the white. I remember there's only a few of those that have ever been graded. Big time Garnett. Man, a few really big Garnetts in this auction. Anthony Davis signing his typical 1 of 1 autograph. So cool. Early Brady autograph. Manute Bol logo man has got to be the most, like, one of the coolest logo man cards I've ever seen. Only $1,100. I suspect that'll go up quite a bit. It's because people love Manute Bol. People love him. Is he going to be some great investment? Probably not, but like people love Manute Bol. And how many Logoman cards does that guy have? And Amen Thompson patch autograph that is game used RPA. A Jordan Playmakers Theater 5. I think this is the same copy that sold. It was like the last one that sold like 4 or 5 months ago. One of the key Jordans. This LeBron for auction is so interesting. We didn't see one of these sell in years. It's the rarest pre-Panini gold refractor LeBron James card ever. There's only 15 of them. Didn't see one sell for years. Finally, one sold. It was a PSA 7 or 8. This is a 10 in a pop 3. That's a huge card sitting very low in this auction. You got to look for stuff like that. This Keontae, I was thinking it was a rookie. It is not a rookie, but it does come with his little inscription down here and the logo minutes game used. So that's super cool. Guys, that's it. Look at that. We still have 4 minutes to spare. I know I didn't go through and talk about like which were my favorites this month. There's so many big cards. I really like that Jordan. I like all of these cards. There's a lot of big cards that are up for sale. It is a huge week. Oh, you know what though? I've got just a couple minutes left. Let's hit Card Hobby real quick. Got to do it in 3 minutes or less. Here we go. Click on Card Hobby. Click on the auctions. Sort by highest. Let's see if anything really jumps out at us. First year, Kaboom Kobe. It's going to do big things. Oh, Jeremy Lin, Logoman autograph. How cool is that? LeBron nameplate. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander patch autograph that's game used. Flawless. Duel with SGA and Steph. Check out that Cooper flag. That thing is awesome. This Steph tag where you can figure out what jersey the tag is from. Oh, this Kobe. I just love this Kobe. I love it. I love the gold autograph. I love the patch. I love that piece. Larry Bird limited logos from 2006. See if anything else really jumps out of this. I gotta go, guys. I have it cutting off. Guys, thank you for joining today. Thank you for joining the downloading the episode. Sorry, I can't talk. And if you haven't already, go grab one of these books. I'll put the link below. 25 and 25, the 25 most iconic cards of the 2000s, as voted by the hobby. And if you haven't already hit that like button, go hit it. I sort of did an experiment on this one. In the last 2 episodes, I said hit that like button at the beginning, and this time I didn't. And I think YouTube pushes the algorithm really pushes the videos if you say it early because people are liking it. And so I don't think we're gonna have as many likes on this because it's at the end, and I don't think that it's going to be seen as much because of that too. We'll have to see what happens. That's my experiment for the day. But anyway, guys, thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate you. Thank you for downloading the episode. Good luck. And if you have any questions, leave them in the chat. I always check it incessantly. And until next time, happy collecting.